Today we're diving back into the world of custom venues because I want to build a kind of bed and breakfast style writing retreat. I feel like when Adventure Awaits first came out, I was making big venues. It was like 64 by 64 lot campground resort kind of stuff. And that's really fun to build, but it's also not that practical for my actual gameplay. I feel like generally speaking, I tend to gravitate towards smaller lots because they just run a little bit better, like things load better, your Sims can get around quicker. It's just easier when there's less stuff all in one big lot. And it's also kind of just been a little while since I built one of these. This happens to me a lot with Sims content where I get this like rush of inspiration and it's all I want to do and think about, and then I kind of like pick something else and switch to that. Like right now I'm really into dine out and building restaurants and playing with dine out. I probably hadn't built a restaurant in 3 years before that, but anyway, we're gonna build here on this lot in the downtown area of Windenburg, and it's gonna be kind of like a Tudor style building. I want to have a lot of beds for a lot of Sims, and I also want to have a lot of computers and like places people can sit and write. This is one of those skills that I haven't really focused a retreat around yet. I've done painting and like fitness stuff and woohoo and cooking and like all these other things, but I haven't really tried writing. So with these custom venues, the setup can be a little bit complex because you have to make a whole schedule for everybody to follow. This is what I'm working with right now. I've called it the writing retreat. I've set it so we have 6 writers, 1 staff member, and 1 mentor. And I also made it so the writers have to already have at least level 2 in the writing skill. So hopefully the people who come here are like already interested in writing so you can meet some other writers and readers. I made it so the staff member at least has to be a grown-up, and they're set to clean things, cook food, fix objects, and like do regular house chores just to hopefully upkeep the place. And then the mentor is set to mentor other Sims that are like practicing the writing skill. And they of course also have to have level 2 of the writing skill at least. I hope that they have more than that though. And if they don't, when you're playing in it, you could try and cheat it maybe. The day starts at 6 a.m. when we have breakfast. We do a little bit of self-care to like fix our needs and stuff. The staff member will cook the meal. And then at 9 a.m. everybody starts writing. Hopefully the mentor will mentor and the staff will clean. At 3 p.m. we do like some reading time. And I set it so that the staff member will serve a meal at 3 because I find that it can be kind of helpful when they cook before it becomes mealtime. And then at 6, everybody can hopefully eat the meal that was cooked at 3. Because I find if you have it supposed to happen at the same time, like in theory, saying dinner's at 6, everybody's like supposed to eat at 6, but then the staff member starts cooking at 6 and like maybe they get distracted midway through and they don't finish it and everybody's trying to use the fridge at the same time to cook a meal and it complicates things. So hopefully that will help. And then after 9 p.m. they have free time and then they should go to bed at midnight. My thought is also at 9 p.m. they could go to sleep early if they wanted to. I think this will be good. I have a tendency to overthink this kind of stuff, but hopefully this will work in The Sims 4. Hopefully The Sims 4 will work. And now I think I want to pop into the speed build segment of the video and I want to show you what I built and kind of explain how I did it. So step 1, I was kind of just experimenting a little bit with the shape of this building. When I started building it, my plan was to build a tiny custom venue. Like that was the title of my Twitch stream. That was my whole vision. I was like, it's gonna be a tiny house sized custom venue because I was trying to have this opposite of all of the big ones that I had been doing. So to be honest with you, when I set out to build this, my original plan was to make a tiny custom venue. I wanted it to be like tiny house sized, very small custom venue lot because I had only done these giant ones. And so I was gonna try and test it out and see how well we could make it work when it was little. It did not end up staying a tiny custom venue. I feel like it's like a moderately sized to like medium custom venue in the end, which is fine. It's just, you know, comparatively speaking, it is still smaller than my other ones, but it's actually not tiny like I wanted it to be. If you want to see me do an actual tiny one, let me know. I love to do tiny builds, but I don't want to be like so annoying and only posting tiny builds. You know what I mean? So I'm never sure what the best thing to do is, but I would do a tiny custom venue if you wanted to see one. But it kind of has this like wonky old Tudor house kind of style to it. My plan was to have the bedrooms be upstairs and like all of the living space and public space downstairs. This one's not really hotel-like in the sense that because I've built some like resort style custom venues before. This one isn't like that because they don't have their own rooms. And this one, everybody just has bunk beds. So it's not like the most comfortable setup. You don't have any privacy really, which you don't technically need in The Sims, but it's just like a bunch of beds thrown into a room pretty close together. So I suppose in that way it is kind of tiny. In terms of color scheme, the outside is very wooden, like lots of wood and stone accents everywhere. It's kind of dark colors on the exterior. On the interior, similar situation, but it's also got a lot of purple and blue. Like I used a lot of like purpley accents and nice florally rugs and, you know, stuff like that. I wanted it to seem really old, but also very cozy and like warm and nice inside. I really wanted it to look like this actually was an old house that has been converted into a bed and breakfast. And so that's sort of the vision that was guiding me the whole time. Now, I did actually build this on my Twitch channel. And in my mind, I built this like last month. I thought, oh, I just built that. I'll post it on YouTube soon. No, turns out I built it in October. So it was like 7 months ago. I never posted it on YouTube. I don't know how that happened. I don't know where the time went. But if you're looking for it on the gallery, you might want to like scroll back a little. If you filter by custom venue, it shouldn't be too hard to find. Because you can filter by lot size and custom venue. It's a 20 by 20 lot. It should come up. I don't think I have any other 20 by 20 custom venues. Honestly, the last 6 months have just been like a blur for me. There's been like a lot of really nightmarish things going on in my personal life that have really thrown me. And so this build somehow got lost. But I'm glad I'm posting it now because I am proud of how it turned out. But anyway, so on the outside, I've just put some debug fencing in. I think the fence that I used, that might be from Get Together. It also might be from Life and Death. I actually can't remember. And then I have some kind of weird corner pieces. I've never used those before. They're a little bit big, but I kind of liked them. And I liked having this debug fence around the entire lot because I wanted to keep grass, but I hate putting grass down when there's like stone everywhere else. It just looks kind of random to me. So I tried to make it look like it fit and like it belonged over here. Of course, used a lot of Get Together windows everywhere and like some nice wooden accents all over the place. Of course, used a lot of Get Together windows over here. Most of the stuff is from Get Together. It has some other packs in it, but mostly it's from Get Together. It's also kind of a weird shape. I think it looks kind of like a cake that's like threatening to topple over at times. Not from the front, but like when you're looking at it from the side that has the little back or side patio, I guess. I think it looks like a cake a bit, but that's okay. I think that's fun. That's like a classic Simsy house build shape. But on the interior, I tried to split it up and make it look a little bit closed off and older in the floor plan. So there's a little entryway. I put a kitchen. There's a small dining nook. We have kind of like a little living room space. And then I wanted the other room to be the writing room. That's the trouble. I had a lot of things that I wanted to fit in here. And like normally the writing room could be like a study in an old house like this. But in this case, we need to have 8 computers. So you can't really do a little writing room. It needs to be big. I used some archways though to like split everything up. And this is kind of what the floor plan ends up staying like. The kitchen is in that tiny tile room right there. But I used some archways to kind of split it up. And this is mostly what the floor plan ends up staying like. I kept the living and dining and kitchen all as one room, and there's a bathroom downstairs. If I remember correctly, that might be the only bathroom, which is unfortunate when there's 8 Sims. But I found when playing in these retreats, I feel like the townies don't go to the bathroom. I know that might sound really weird, but like, oh no, there's not only one bathroom. Look at that, there's one upstairs. Perfect. I lied. But I was gonna say, I found in playing in these spaces, it's like they don't need to pee or shower. They do sometimes, but not always. Like it's not enough bathroom using as my sim is needing to do. The ones I'm playing are like at the verge of peeing their pants all the time and somehow nobody else is having a problem. So it really is, I think, okay if you have less than the ideal number of bathrooms in one of these kind of venues, but we've got 2. So that's good. This first room downstairs that I'm putting some actual furniture in is that writing room. So I put big bookshelves lining the whole back wall, and then I'm gonna have a big table in the middle. It's just one of the 3x1, what am I saying? It's one of the 3x1 dining tables. And I put 6 chairs around it. And then I put a bunch of laptops there because I wanted it to seem like the Sims had brought their own computer to come and work here. I didn't think like desktop computers really made sense for this. I wanted it to look like it actually belonged to the Sim. And the 6 is good because there are 6 people who are actually partaking in the event. The other 2 are employees. So I'm hoping that 6 will be okay. But I think I might have put a couple of extra laptops outside if I remember correctly. But I don't know, it was October, so We'll find out together. This part was hard for me though. I feel like this beginning part is always one of the hardest. The beginning of the furnishing is one of the hardest parts of a build for me because I'm like trying to decide where I want to put everything and how it's all gonna fit and what the color scheme's gonna look like. So it takes me like twice as long to furnish the first thing than it does to furnish the rest of it. I got rid of the bathroom. Oh my gosh, I was gonna say, I think that tile room is the kitchen, but then before I said it, past me put the kitchen in the other room. So I was like, guess I'm wrong and it's a bathroom. Nope, it's the kitchen and there is one bathroom. So I was right all along and I lied to you apparently. It's a really small kitchen. I do think that in terms of realism though, it being small makes sense. Like this is a really old house, so I think that's realistic. It's a little inconvenient because I did play test this lot. It's a little bit inconvenient when places are that tiny because if you don't have a lot of counter space in like any of these custom venues, you do run into issues with Sims trying to cook and like interrupting each other. You know how sometimes if you tell your Sim to go and grab a meal out of the fridge, but somebody else is already grabbing one, your Sim's gonna be like, what? I can't do it. That kind of thing happens a lot in this sort of space because everybody's trying to eat at the same time and they can't all get into the fridge at the same time and they'll like start cooking and leave the half-cooked meal on the counter. It's very annoying. That's just an issue with this back in general. Adventure Awaits is just like that. I've had that problem in basically every single one of the custom venues I've played in. Granted, I haven't played in one in a couple of months. I think I last did it in like January. So I don't think anything's changed, but maybe it did. Maybe it did. You can kind of see the color scheme starting to take shape now. I based the whole thing around that rug from Businesses and Hobbies. It's like purple and brown and it has like some blue and teal accents. I added a fireplace and the couch. There's a dining table. I put a piano. We have a couple of like cozy chairs. I just wanted to have some nice spaces where the Sims could sit and read because that's part of the retreat also. So I was trying to sneak in some cozy little reading corners, but this is pretty much the vibe of the furnishing. Obviously we have a lot left to do, but I hope that kind of introduces it to you. And I think now at this point in the video, it might be a good time for me to do my weekly yapping. I feel like I tend to use these speed builds just as a place to update you on things and the ongoings of my life. Oh, I put a research machine. I forgot about that. That thing is very expensive. It's like 15,000 simoleons. It's from Discover University, but you can use it for research and it can kill your Sims if you do it too much. So I wanted to have one of those. Sorry. I think I mentioned in my last speed build that I'm throwing a birthday party for my cat this weekend. So as I'm posting this, the party will be over. So I can give you like all of my plans in this video without spoiling it too much for my friends and family. Obviously it hasn't happened yet, so I might have even more updates next week. But long story short, my cat Snap is turning 18, technically in June, but she's getting very sick and so we're worried about June and we thought maybe we could move her birthday and do her birthday in April instead. So Snap's birthday is officially now on April 25th as of this year. And for the past few years, we've been talking about doing a big party for her 18th birthday because she loves people, she loves hanging out, and we thought it'd be kind of fun to throw a party for my cat's 18th birthday because it's a big birthday and it's like kind of a fun idea. Well, that's what's happening this weekend. And I've purchased a lot of things, like fun surprises that I didn't want to talk about too much in my last video because I knew my mom was gonna watch it and stuff like that and I didn't want her to get spoiled. I also didn't think about this because I said in that video, if you're coming to the party, stop watching. But my friend Hope is coming to the party and Hope does the closed captions on my videos. So she kept watching and she heard everything I said. Cause like, of course she's not gonna skip that part and just like not caption the next 30 seconds, you know? So anyway, sorry Hope. But what I didn't wanna talk about are the goodie bags that I've got for everybody. So I bought some of Snap's favorite cat toys for people that have cats, of course. But I also got some things for the humans that I was really excited about. I bought some Kit Kats because, you know, it's a cat's birthday party. I also got these really cute little cat stickers. And then I found online these handmade ceramic cat magnets. This is what I'm most excited about. And I bought a bunch of them so that everybody could have one in their goodie bag. And I tried to base it off of what kind of cat that person has if they have one. So like my family has 2 black cats and an orange cat, and so I'm gonna give my mom one of the black cats and my sister one of the orange cat, and like, you know, space it out so that everybody can like kind of have a magnet that looks like their cat. I'm so excited. I think it's gonna be so cute. And then I thought for people that have cats, I would give them a cat toy also, and then maybe like one of those little squeezy tube meat juice treats that cats like so they can bring them home to their cat. And I think I mentioned that I bought a cake from the same baker who did our wedding cake last year, but I went a little bit overboard. I did not just buy a cake. In fact, I also bought, I don't know if you've seen these before, but people do these cakes sometimes where it's actually like a giant sugar cookie. And in this case, it's like a giant 1 and then a giant 8. And I think they make 2 of them and they stack them together and put like cute filling inside, so it looks like a big decorated 18 or whatever age you wanted to make it. And I've seen those online so many times and I've always been kind of curious about them. And when I was ordering the cake, I saw that the baker also makes those kind of cookie cake things, and I was like, maybe I should buy one of those too. So I've I've ordered a little bit too much dessert. But these are things that I would never buy for myself or do for myself. Like, I just wouldn't ever do this, and so it's kind of fun to have an excuse to do it because it's my cat's 18th birthday. Of course, she can't have any of the cake or cookie, but the humans can, and I don't know, I'm really excited about that part. I also ordered some decorations. I have like some streamers and like, little things to hang up on the wall and stuff, and when the box came and I was sitting on the floor opening it and like organizing everything, Snap walked over and she tried to climb into the box, and then she was sniffing everything, and we were joking about how we thought she was inspecting her decorations. She's like here to check if they're good enough for the party. And I think she approved, so. I'll post some pictures once the party is over. I think probably, I guess, because you're watching this on Sunday, I probably have posted them already because the party happened yesterday for you. I really, really cannot wait. I've needed like a funny little thing to look forward to because I've been under a lot of stress recently. So it's been fun to get to plan this, and I'm excited to like celebrate my cat and have my friends be able to see her again and stuff like that. So I know it's a little bit ridiculous, but I think it's fun. So that's my plan for this weekend. At this point of the build, I feel like I just missed the entire furnishing of the downstairs. I will show you a tour at the end, of course. That we've done some decorating in the tiny kitchen. I put some more furniture in the rest of the rooms. I put like the rugs and decor inside of the writing room. But I feel like you can really see that color scheme coming together now. And then we're quickly moving upstairs to work a bit more on the hallway and the 3 bedrooms up here. I feel like 3 bedrooms isn't too bad for when you have 8 Sims. I'm gonna have 3 beds in 2 of them and then 2 beds in 1. Unless I don't know how I laid it out. Maybe there's 4 beds in one of them. I guess we'll find out. I know there's bunk beds everywhere, but I forget how many I put. Anyway, 3 is a good number. I was scared for a bit that it was gonna be just 2 bedrooms or like just 1, and that would have been bad. What? I don't think she likes the 3 bedrooms. Hold on. Are you gonna come up and sit with me? Because we can sit together. She's been asleep on her little cat bed next to me and she just woke up. Come on, we can jump up together. She's just staring at me. Come on, Snappy. Sometimes she can jump, sometimes she needs picked up. She picks and chooses. But anyway, the boss is now here and we're furnishing the bathroom. I don't know what I was talking about anymore. This video. So mad. This reminds me of the videos I used to make like 10 years ago. Like not good speed build voiceovers, but anyway. I'm using the For Rent tile in the bathroom and kitchen because I kind of forgot that this swatch existed, but it's like the exact same color scheme as the rest of the building. It's got that like purple and green to it. I really, really like it. I feel like using this kind of unlocked a new item to me that I had forgotten was there. This tile is kind of interesting too because it's one of those tile sets that has a border. So there's like 4 different pieces that are this same swatch, but like one is a corner piece and one's an edge piece and one's an inner corner piece. So you can use it if you wanted to make like a fancy border around the outside. I didn't do that in here. I don't remember why. Maybe the color was like different or something, but it's fun to be able to do that. You can also kind of mix and match and make different kinds of patterns a little bit with that. So there's a lot of room to mess around with those fancy tiles. I think there's 2 of them in For Rent. There's at least 1 of them in the Queer and Oasis kit, and there's another one that's in high school years too. So lots of options. But anyway, in the bedrooms, I'm gonna use the Adventure Awaits bunk beds. I did kind of worry about doing this as I was placing them because the Adventure Awaits bunk beds are really bad. I think that this is like maybe one of the worst quality beds in the game in terms of sleep. I think it's like Energy 3, which is the same or maybe even worse than the children's beds. So that's no good, but they look nice, so I wanted to use them. I also kind of tried to do 3 slightly different color schemes in each of the rooms. So one's kind of green and yellow, one's a little bit more brown and purpley. I was kind of trying to make them look unique, but like matchy at the same time. I wanted them to be coordinated, maybe is the better way to put it. Why do I feel like I've got more beds than I need? Doesn't it look like that? There's 3 beds in one of the rooms. I think I put 4 in the last room. Maybe I put extra beds on purpose in case I wanted to invite more Sims. I don't know. I don't know about my own motivations there, but anyway, I kind of furnished these, I don't want to say sparsely, but I was kind of trying to think like this is a bunk bed room inside of a bed and breakfast. Like it's not going to have the most personality ever. They'll be nicely furnished, but they aren't going to have like clutter all over the place, I don't think. So I put some of those writing plaques. I think it's from the writer career in the base game, but it's like an open book on a plaque. I put those in the rooms. I put some things from the Book Nook kit because that's like cute little book clutter. We've got some extra chairs. I put some dressers, some nice artwork that kind of matched the color scheme. But the bedrooms were just not like the highest priority in this build for me. I cared mostly about the downstairs and the outside. The bedrooms are just like a place to sleep while they're staying here. And I like to think that the customers that are coming would also feel that way. But maybe I'm projecting a lot onto them. I'm like thinking too deep about these Sims. Now we're moving back outside and we're gonna start working a little bit more on some landscaping and some exterior stuff. But while I do that, I wanted to just quickly remind you all that my big annual fundraiser for St. Jude is coming up. I do it every year for the entire month of May. And so May 1st is the first day and I'm really excited about this year. I've got some really fun things planned. I think we always have fun things planned, but I don't know. I feel like I've got some wackier ideas than normal this year. So if you want to follow me on Twitch, I'm going to link my Twitch channel down below. I'll be live every single day throughout the entire month of May, sometimes more than once a day. Sometimes I do like 2 streams in a day. We're going to play a lot of games. We're going to play like Tamagotchi Life more, which has been really fun. If you haven't seen that game yet, I've posted the VODs on my second channel. I also posted one of me playing the demo cut down here on my main channel. It's so silly. Like I think you would really like that game genuinely. So you might want to go skim through the VOD just to kind of get a feel for it because I don't even know where to start when it comes to explaining it. Like it's a life sim game, but it's like everything and nothing all at once in some ways. I don't know where to begin. It's really weird and really fun. But yeah, we have a lot of plans for a lot of different fun games and different fun activities to do on stream, like building Lego and baking and all kinds of things like that. So it should be a good time. I'm really excited about it. I think my cat's excited too. As you can see. But now we're working on some of the actual landscaping. I used a lot of the Romantic Garden Stuff Pack landscaping for this because it's got these really pretty like whimsical flowers and they're all kind of purple and blue in this swatch pattern, so I thought it really matched the interior. I also mixed in a couple of things from the Cottage Living debug just so we could have some more variety in shape, but I thought that turned out so nice together. I really like all of the plants out here. I think they're just so beautiful. You can also see we have a couple big patio sections. The one on the side is where I did the most work and where I have like the most outdoor space because I wanted to have some outdoor places to sit for the Sims who are staying here. I also kind of wanted to have a hot tub because I was thinking about how there aren't really many woohoo spots here on this lot, which is okay, but like, it's nice to have options. So I was thinking about trying to find a place to squeeze in some stuff like that. I also wanted like an outdoor dining table and maybe a grill. I put some benches around so people could sit outside and read, or more likely they could sit outside and stargaze. Because that's apparently all my Sims want to do. I also have a fire pit so they could sit around that, maybe like roast some marshmallows. I think I might have put a laptop on this outdoor dining table, or maybe I changed my mind and didn't add it. I was thinking at the very least that you could bring your laptop out there and use it. I just kind of second guessed myself with placing one there because I got scared that it would break in the rain. So I might have not left it there in the final version, but I did think about it. Oh, here I put like some book clutter. Okay, there's like an open book. So if you wanted to play with this lot, you could give your Sim a laptop in their inventory and they could bring it outside themselves, but make sure you bring it back in after or like put it back in their backpack so they don't just like pour water on it by accident from the sky. We also have a telescope in the back so your Sims can die. I don't know, at this point I was kind of just trying to add in some various activities and like things to do because when you're staying here on this retreat, obviously the goal is to write, but you might get bored as the player just only writing the whole time, so I wanted to give you some extra options. Oh, my cat's going down there. She's back in her bed now. But there's like a chess table and various activities like that also. It seems like I did not end up putting in the hot tub. I like have these vivid memories of myself on stream building this, talking about wanting a hot tub. So I thought I might have one. Turns out there isn't. I could have watched this whole thing back before I recorded the video, but instead I just skimmed it and then went for it. So In true classic Lil Simsie fashion, I don't even know what is in some of this backyard. But last minute touches, I put in some terrain paint. I also put some of the like VFX of the butterflies because those I thought would be so pretty flying around. They aren't like catchable or anything. They just look like there's butterflies flying everywhere. Those came in Adventure Awaits, but I put a few of those outside. That's one of those things that looks so cool in live mode. It's just like such a nice little detail. I love the VFX. There's also fireflies, and if you want, there's like mosquitoes and, and other things in the base game, but I use those a little bit less often. I use the fireflies. I don't typically go for the mosquitoes when I have the choice. But that is the rest of the speed build complete. I think now it's a good time for us to go back into the game, and I'll give you a tour of the finished product. But I think actually I might bring a sim here so we can see what it looks like in that context with the sim actually playing on the lot. Who should we bring? Should we do someone from this world? Oh, maybe one of the families from Nordhaven because they're interested in writing, right? Yeah, Dahlia has level 8. All right, it's gonna be you. Maybe we can make her the mentor. Let's plan a getaway. It's so cloudy, you can't even really see anybody because it looks so dark in this world right now. Wow, you would think it's nighttime, but it's 9 a.m. Okay, Windenburg, custom venue. Let's make it like 4 nights. Oh no, that guy looks like he would be the mentor. That's perfect. Okay, I'll just keep it like that then. I think he's a good mentor. I bet that I have a higher skill than him, but he looks like he would run this place. Oh, lovely weather we're having here. Okay, let me make it sunny so you can actually see everything a bit better. Here are all of our guests. Gunther Munch, I actually was thinking about playing with him and bringing him here instead of bringing Dahlia, so that's good timing. I guess we can look inside first because it's not gonna be so affected by the weather. But you'll walk in through this little door right here. Oh my gosh, I put the butterflies too close and one just clipped into the house. That's okay, maybe you see butterflies inside sometimes. This is the little entryway right here. I have a coat rack and like a table. There's a little shelf with a candle and a plant. And you come forward into the main living space. So we have a dining room. Hi Dahlia, it's your job agency calling. Just a friendly reminder there are plenty of gigs available. They're like, hey, do your job. I'm not gonna do one. We have a piano over here. This area is that teeny tiny kitchen I was telling you about. I did actually put a blender as well, so you can make smoothies, which I thought might be a helpful little thing if you're coming here to play and like the staff aren't making the food fast enough. Through here we have the writing room. Oh, he's actually mentoring. Amazing, but that's the staff and not one of the guests. And everybody seems to just be standing outside stuck. Interesting. Perhaps things have changed since, oh, I pressed modifying cast. I was gonna say perhaps things have changed since October when I built this, but well, maybe since I reloaded it'll be better. Who knows? Yeah, I reset Dahlia, everybody started moving again. Yeah, there we go. They just needed a little reset. Anyway, this is the writing room. So we have this research machine and some extra computers. Then if you go upstairs, the hallway is pretty small, just looks like that. We have 1 bedroom with 3 bunk beds in it. This one also has 3 bunk beds in it. And then in here we have 4. So there's a bunch of extra in case you have got more Sims or like somebody stole your bed or something. And then through this way, when you're playing with the walls cut away, it's easier to see. We have the bathroom. There's a tub, a shower, a toilet, and a sink. Are you stuck again? What is happening to you? Everybody else is fine. Why are you just standing out there? Do you want to go in the house? Who knows? Looks like things are okay now. And then outside, this is what the exterior of the building looks like. It's got some tall roofs. It's kind of like swoopy as well. These are the butterflies when you're in live mode. Isn't that so fun? And then back here we have the fire pit, the chess table, the dining table, and also the grill. I think this umbrella is actually from Businesses and Hobbies too, but it's in debug, and I just put it on the table so it looks like there's a table out there. In the way back, it's mostly just grass, and then we also have the telescope so your Sims can dive. But I think that just about covers the whole build. I hope that you enjoyed watching this one. I know this was all over the place, but I had fun making it, so hopefully you liked it. Let me know about that tiny retreat idea. If you want us to make like an actual tiny lot one, we can try and keep it under 100 tiles maybe. Could be like a fun challenge to do. And with that, I'm gonna stop yapping and I'm gonna catch you all tomorrow, okay? Bye everybody. Wish me luck with my cat's birthday party. I'm so excited about it. It's gonna be so fun.